Hello and welcome. In the previous video I showed you some simple and complex graphic textures. All these textures have some things in common. The grid shape is a square and the grid lines are verticals and horizontals, which means the textures were linear. I want to put it all in question to create more advanced graphic textures, especially non-linear textures. Let's start. The usual grid. No one told me to use verticals and horizontals as grid lines. Now, what about diagonals? Could be worth a try. Well, this looks pretty complicated and that's what it is. So I take the easy way and rotate that thing. For my first attempts I only use a small square without any scaling. Looks like a bitmap, but let's see. Well, not good, not bad, something in between. And here another texture. It's more interesting with different shapes, like that. These diagonals remind me of another shape, the hexagon. If you want to learn more about hexagons, watch this video here on YouTube. Hexagons are the bestagons. Highly recommended. Now, unfortunately this one here is not equilateral, but it'll do for this video. Again, I have my own set of grid lines and convert them into help lines. The construction looks okay and so does the texture. But due to the basic shape, I have to set up different patterns. And here they are. It takes a little time to find a nice arrangement and I have no idea what all this could be good for. Perhaps you could have a coffee break instead, but anyways. Let's try something different, and this time the basic shape will be a triangle and it should be equilateral for best results. Now my grid lines are radial, starting at the top while the horizontals remain. Again, I had no clue what to do and you see I don't use primitives but polygons for my first attempt. But then also triangles and circles. By the way, the circles are absolutely not that easy, I had to draw them freehand. Let's go back to the square. I want to try another stupid thing. And now it's getting worse, because now my grid lines will be circles. And the areas look like this and here with help lines. The condition is only shapes and parts of shapes inside the circles are valid. What's in a gap will be deleted. I told you, stupid. And then the texture looks like this and here are the patterns. Some new effects I would say. Once again, circle grid lines. The second method means only what's in a gap is valid, which may look like this. You still can see the original shapes as remnants. And yes, there are strange worlds inside my head. All layouts until now were static and linear, but I want to achieve dynamic textures, non-linear textures. And now it's getting even worse. Instead of this square, I'll take the circle as grid shape. My set of grid lines is curved now. It starts at the very top and curves to the left, then I make copies and convert them to help lines. I'm really stuck with this, again, and I need a visual help, so I paint a rough. And here is my color texture, not the best, but okay so far. But what to do with it? Well, perhaps a simple pattern. Pretty boring. This one is more appealing. It's all about the arrangement dealing with circles. And here are some other ones. Again, some new patterns, could be useful on a rainy day. Always keep in mind, a pattern is the permanent repetition of a texture, and you decide which pattern is good enough for you. Back to the circle. That previous method provided only single points for connections, but I want more, so I split the circle and place its parts in a reversed way with a certain distance. Again, instead of dynamic curved grid lines, and some new patterns. I like the gaps in between, gives it a certain touch. But it's getting even much worse. And I promise this will be the final one. Remember, I started with a square and ended up with a circle. What about a combination? This gives me a leaf-like grid shape and a huge variety of options in design. I had never tried this kind of layout before and I'm really impressed of the unexpected results. Now the gaps in the patterns are not only smaller than before, they seem to belong there. Imagine a colored background to support the design and you have it. So now that's the end of my short journey to graphic textures and patterns. It's just an overview of the means to create graphic designs. Keep in mind there are so many possibilities, just let them into your mind. Because now it's up to you to create better patterns. Again, here are some VR scenes for you to experience all at your own pace if you like to dive in. See the link below in the description. And that's all, folks. Hope you enjoyed it and thanks for watching. Bye for now.